Good evening. Welcome to World News. I am Wisdom Onisi. First, the headlines. 3,590 inmates on death row in Nigeria, says ENCOS. Nigeria declares British man a top fugitive. Ukraine's foreign minister tenders resignation. And on sport, Osimhen becomes sixth Nigerian to play for Galatasaray. Now the news in details. No fewer than 3,590 inmates across custodial centers in Nigeria are on death row, the Nigeria Correctional Service has revealed. ENCO's Public Relations Officer, Assistant Controller of Correction Abubakar Omar, made this known while speaking to newsmen on Wednesday in Abuja. Omar stated that the total number of inmates in centers across the country is 84,741, comprising 82,821 males and 1,920 females as of September 3rd, 2024. The ENCO spokesperson put the total number of awaiting trial inmates at 57,750, comprising 56,303 males and 1,447 females. The breakdown according to their categories is as follows. Convicted inmates are 21,900, comprising 21,519 males and 381 females, while lifers are 1,501, comprising 1,478 males and 23 females. The total number of inmates on death row is made up of 3,517 males and 73 females, making a total of 3,590. Omar explained that the majority of inmates in custody are awaiting trial persons, which poses a significant challenge for the service due to high numbers. However, he assured that the service is taking steps to address the issue and to ensure timely judicial processing for the awaiting trial persons. Away from that, the Nigerian Labour Congress has revealed plans to meet over the recent 45% increase in the price of premium motor spirit PMS by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. This comes as it asks the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to reverse the 855 naira and 897 naira petrol pump increase on Tuesday. The Nigerian Labour Congress disclosed this in a statement signed by its president Joe Ajero on Tuesday in reaction to the petrol price hike. In the coming days, the appropriate organs of the Congress will be meeting to take appropriate decisions, which will be made public, NLC revealed. NLC added that it felt betrayed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led administration. We also have you know that Nigeria declares British man a top fugitive. A British national has said he is at a loss as to why the Nigerian police have accused him of planning to overthrow Nigeria's government and placed a bounty on his head. It was alleged by Nigerian's police spokesperson that Andrew Wayne and a co-conspirator had built up a network of sleeper cells to destabilize Nigeria and had fled the country in the wake of last month's cost of living protest. Speaking from the UK, Wayne told Nigerian newsmen that he was not aware of accusation and would be happy to talk to officials. He said he ran a bookshop in the Nigerian capital, Abuja, and had been visiting the West African nation for 25 years without any problem. However, a reward of 110 million, 10 million naira, that is 6,000 US dollars and 5,000 euro, has been offered by Nigerian police to anyone who has information that could lead to the arrest of Wayne, and the same amount for his alleged Nigerian accomplice, Lucky Obiang. He was declared a fugitive on the day that 10 Nigerians were charged with treason for taking part in the protests that were dubbed 10 Days of Rage. Now, when we return, news from other parts of Africa. Stay with us.
This is News TV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this soul.
Welcome back. Now, news from other parts of Africa. China has welcomed more than 50 African leaders to Beijing this week for a summit to strengthen ties at a time of increasing political and economic turmoil around the world. Many of them, including South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa and Kenya's William Ruto, had one-on-one meetings with their Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping and were given tours of Beijing and other cities at the heart of China's development ahead of the summit. Paul Frupong, Executive Director of Ghana-based Africa-China Center for Policy and Advocacy, says that Western powers as well as oil-rich Gulf states are trying to match China's influence in Africa. Now we move to other parts of the world. After this break, stay with us. Welcome back. Now, news from other parts of the world. Ukraine Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba tendered his resignation on Wednesday ahead of an expected major cabinet reshuffle as a fresh wave of Russian missiles overnight killed at least 7 people, including a child. Kuleba is the latest high-profile member of President Zelensky's cabinet to resign as Russia's invasion grinds on, and his decision comes ahead of an expected visit by the president to the U.S. this month. As Ukraine's top diplomat, Kuleba has been a prominent figure in Zelensky's administration and one of the most public-facing, especially dealing with overseas issues. Ukraine's parliament will consider the foreign minister's resignation at one of its plenary meetings soon, Speaker Ruslan Stefanchuk said. David Arakhamia, the majority leader of Ukraine's parliament, said Tuesday that there would be major changes expected in the cabinet this week. Among those who have resigned was the Minister of Strategic Industries, Alexander Kanshin, who was in charge of weapons production. He is expected to assume another defense role. We also have that arrest warrant issued for ex-president candidate. Venezuelan authorities have issued an arrest warrant for former president candidate Edmundo Gonzalez amidst a crackdown on the country's opposition movement following July's disputed election. The Venezuela's prosecutor office requested the warrant accusing Gonzalez of crimes associated with terrorism. Gonzalez has failed to respond to 3 summons regarding its investigation into an opposition website that posted results from the contested vote, it said. Maduro claims to have won the July 28 vote, but the official's results have attracted widespread skepticism from abroad, and the opposition has insisted that it won. Shortly after the vote, the opposition published tally sheets on a website indicating their candidate Gonzalez had won by a landslide. Let's also have that New York Governor ex-aide charged as Chinese agent. A former deputy chief of staff to New York Governor Kathy Hochul has been charged with acting as an agent of the Chinese government. Linda Sun, 31 years, acted at the order, direction, or request of Beijing in return for millions of dollars in kickbacks, special home deliveries of salted ducks and other perks, according to federal indictment. Prosecutor says she and Christopher Hu, her husband and co-defendant, used their ill-gotten gains to purchase real estate and luxury vehicles. The couple pleaded not guilty to the charge against them in a Brooklyn federal court on Tuesday. Up next is business. Stay with us. Welcome back now to business news. The National Petroleum Company Limited NLPC has reached an agreement to sell crude oil to Dangote Petroleum Refinery in Naira. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority NMDPRA made this confirmation on Tuesday through its X handle. According to NMDPRA, the NNPCL reached an agreement to commence crude oil sale and supply to Dangote Refinery in local currency. The agency also said the refinery was determined to supply an initial 25 million liters per day of the premium motor spirit PMS into the domestic market in September 2024. Adding that the refinery will increase the volume to 30 million liters per day in October. The refinery is now poised to supply an initial 25 million liters of PMS into the domestic market this September and will subsequently increase this amount to 30 million liters daily from October 2024. We also have you know that China hits back at Canada EAF tariff with canola prop. China has announced a prop of Canadian canola imports, escalating a trade fight between the two countries. The move, which could lead to tariff on a key Canadian export, came a week after Canada said it would impose new border taxes on Chinese-made electronics vehicles, steel and aluminium. Beijing also said it would file a complaint with the World Trade Organization over the EV tariffs, which it criticized as discriminatory and unilateral. Canada's Minister of Agriculture said plans for the canola investigation were deeply concerning and the government was closely monitoring the situation. The latest crumble comes as a rising number of governments, including the US and European Union, erect barriers against Chinese-made electric cars. In announcing the EV's tariff last week, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said countries such as China had chosen to give themselves an unfair advantage in the global marketplace. Western countries allege that Chinese firms are benefiting from subsidies and other government help, allowing for dumping, which is when product is sold below cost, making it difficult for other firms to compete. China cited similar dumping complaint in its probe of Canadian canola oil, noting that imports had jumped 170% since 2023, while prices had continuously fallen. Away from that, the UK pension will have you know that the Treasury expects the new full state pension to be boosted above inflation by more than €400 in a year in cash terms in the UK. The internal working calculations reflect the near certainty that the state pension will be increased by average earning figures released next week. This is due to the triple lock, which means the state pension increases every April by whatever number is highest out of inflation. The average UK wage increase all by 2.5%. The news comes as the government faces a backlash over its decision to cut the winter fuel payment for most pensioners. The increase will take the fuel state pension for men who were born after 1951 and women born after 1953 to around €12,000 next year, after €900 increase last year. Pre-2016 retirees who may have been eligible for a secondary state pension are likely to see at least a €300 in a year increase in the basic state pension to €9,000 in the next year under the old system. The final decision on the operating will be made by Pension Secretary Liz Candel ahead of the budget next month, but on Monday, Chancellor Rachel Reeves reiterated the government's backing for the triple lock until the end of this parliament. Still to come is sport. Please stay with us. Welcome back now to Sport News. Victor Osimhen ended his long transfer saga after joining Turkish side Galatasaray on a 4-month loan deal from Napoli on Tuesday as the 6th Nigerian to don the Clean jersey. Osimhen's transfer and his eventual departure from Italy were one of the most talked about during the summer window. Having requested to leave Napoli despite penning a new contract in December 2023, the Super Eagles striker needs no introduction, having showcased his immense qualities since joining the Parthenopel from Lille in 2020, guiding the club to their first league title in over 30 decades, scoring 26 goals and bagging the Serie A top scorer award. Over the past 3 seasons, his impressive performance has been him emerged as one of the most sought-after strikers in Europe, with the likes of Chelsea, Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United and Liverpool, among others, showing interest in the Lagos-born striker. Chelsea were Osimhen's choice destination, while Saudi Arabia club Al Ahly wheeled in with the mouth-watering offer on the last day of the transfer window. We'll have you know that Foden, Palmer and Watkins ruled out of England squad. Phil Foden, Cole Palmer and Ole Watkins have withdrawn from the England squad for their upcoming Nation League features. Manchester City forward Foden, who was recently named PFA Player of the Year, was caught up by interim England boss Lee Casley, but did not join up with the squad because of illness. Chelsea forward Palmer and Aston Villa striker Watkins both reported for duty at St. George's Park, but have returned to their respective clubs to continue their rehabilitation from ongoing issues, said the Football Association. England faced the Republic of Ireland in Dublin on Saturday, 7th September, before hosting Finland at Wembley 3 days later. We also have you know that Toffee set up All-American semi-final against Fritz. Francis Toffee set up a U.S. Open semi-final against Taylor Fritz to guarantee there will be an American man in the singles final in New York for the first time in 18 years. Andy Roddick was the last American man to win a Grand Slam singles title when trophied at Flushing Meadows in 2003. Roddick was also the last American man to reach a U.S. Open final, having lost to Roger Federer in 2006. But the wait for a home finalist will soon be over after Fritz ended his run of Grand Slam quarter-final disappointment by edging out Alexander Zverev 7-6, 3-6, 6-4, and 7-6. The over-entertaining Toffee then advanced when opponent Grigor Dimitrov was forced to retire injured. Over to cricket, where we have that the Stanley Stars as Surrey beat Durham to reach final deal. Durrell overcame a fine Durham fight back to become the first team to make it to T20 Blast final day, chasing 163 win, a 95-run partnership between Dom Sibley, 67, and Sam Corren, 52, for the fourth wicket tripped the game in Surrey favor from 53-3, and they wrapped up their win with 2 overs to spare. After being put into bat, Durham had a horror start, falling to 36-4 in the 8th over before recovering superbly to post 162-8 at the over. Surrey's pace bowlers Dan Warrell, which is 214, and Rose Topley, which is 220, made early inroads into Durham's top order as they struggled to put runs on the board. When Sam Corren's quick thinking and expert arm ran out, calling Ackerman at the non-strikers end to leave Durham 61-5 at the halfway stage, the visitors looked to be in big trouble. And that's your sport news and world news. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Stay with us.
This is Hills TV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Now the rest of the news. New Zealand will temporarily increase an entry tax for foreign tourists in a move some fear could deter visitors. The cost of the International Visitor Conservation and Tourism Levy will near triple to 1,000 New Zealand, that is 47.20 euro from $35 New Zealand, and that is 16.52 euro from October 1st. The government said this is to help economic growth and ensure visitors contribute to public services and high-quality experiences while visiting New Zealand. The nation is famed for its Maori cultural and dramatic scenery, including glaciers, mountains, volcanoes, and lakes, but its location in the South Pacific and associated long-distance air ferries have often posed a barrier for visitors. New Zealand's tourism recovery is falling behind the rest of the world, and this will further dent their global competitiveness, said Rebecca Ingram, the Association Chief Executive. New Zealand first introduced the levy in 2019 as it grappled with the impact of a large number of visitors on its infrastructural environment and communities. And that's what news now. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that over 3,590 inmates on death row in Nigeria, says ENCOS. We also brought to you that Nigeria declares British man a top fugitive. We told you that Ukraine Foreign Minister tenders resignation, and on spot, Osimhen becomes 6th Nigerian to play for Galatasaray. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV Abuja, Instagram at Hills TV, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hills TV. I am Wisdom Onisi. Thanks for watching.